Hello, my name is Lauren Sowerby. This is my nutrition PowerPoint. There are 7 nutrients in the body, and these are protein, fibre, fats, water, carbohydrates, minerals, and vitamins. They are split into 2 groups, which are called macronutrients and micronutrients. Macronutrients are the fats, protein, and carbohydrates. We require macronutrients in relatively large amounts, which helps the body function and stay healthy. Hence, the meaning of macro means large. The foods that contain macronutrients provide us with calories and the energy we need. Protein should make up to 15% of or more of a person's calories. Protein is important for growth and repair, especially for kids, teens, and pregnant women. It's needed for the immune function and can give us energy and can preserve lean muscle mass. You can get protein in foods such as meat, fish, cheese, milk, and nuts. The building blocks of protein are known as amino acids. The body uses the food that has protein and breaks them down to amino acids. Foods that contain 20 amino acids are known as complete proteins. 1 gram of protein is equal to 4 calories. There are 2 types, 8 are essential and 12 are non-essential. Examples of complete proteins are meat, fish, eggs, milk, and cheese. Examples of incomplete proteins are cereals, bread, rice, peas, and lentils. Carbohydrates are the body's main source of fuel. They are easily used up by the body for energy. 50 to 60% of our diet should be made up of carbs, and some high-level athletes can require up to 70%. Before the use of them, they are converted into glucose, and then the stored glucose is converted into glycogen. 1 gram of carbohydrates equates to 4 calories. Examples of carbohydrates are rice, bread, grains, and potatoes. They are needed for the function of the central nervous system, kidneys, brain, and the muscles so that they can function properly. There are 3 types of carbohydrate. The first one is monosaccharide, which are known as simple sugars. They are the building blocks of more complex carbohydrates that are disaccharides and polysaccharides. They are colourless and appear as a crystal-like substance. They are made up of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen atoms. The second type is disaccharides, which means 2 sugars, and when carbohydrates are formed, 2 monosaccharides are joined and undergo a condensation reaction, which means that a small molecule disappears like water. Examples of these are jam, honey, fudge, sweets, or fizzy drinks. The third is polysaccharides, and these are the complex carbohydrates and are long chains of monosaccharides that are linked together through glycosidic bonds. They can be used as energy storage, and examples of these are bread, crackers, rice, potatoes, or root vegetables. These food provide us with slow-releasing energy, which are good for long-distance athletes like marathon runners or triathletes. Fats are essential for survival and keep our bodies working effectively. They protect the internal organs, help with thermal regulation. The storage of fat keeps the body warm and protected by being soluble. They supply us with essential fatty acids which can be used for flavouring food, and this is why nicer tasting food tends to be full of fat. The body gets a lot of energy from fat, but it can take a long time to break down, meaning it is good for long-distance athletes as they can fuel their workouts over long periods of time. Examples of fats in food are things like meat, butters, dairy products, sweet foods, and lard. 1 gram of fat equates to 9 calories. There are 3 types of fat. One is saturated, and these are found in food like dairy products and meat. Examples of these are butter, cream, cakes, chocolate, and lard. It is a fat in where fatty acids all have single bonds. They are cold saturated because the second bond is broken up and each half of the bond is attached to a hydrogen atom. The second is polyunsaturated fats, and these are lipids which have a double carbon bond. They are often found in things like nuts, seeds, fish, greens, and soya. These are essential fatty acids the body needs. They help the body to stay alive and function well. Your body cannot produce these, so it's important that you intake them from the foods in your diet. The third is monosaturated, and these are the unsaturated good fats. Examples of these are olive oil, nuts, peanuts, or rapeseed oil. As this is an unsaturated fat, it can help to lower your blood cholesterol when used in place of saturated fat in your diet. Micronutrients are necessary to the diet, but only in small amounts. They are very necessary as it's good for your health, and without having them in your diet, they can cause serious health problems. They include things like vitamins, minerals, such as zinc or iodine, and are necessary for the functioning of the human body, including things like bone growth, strength, and brain function. There are two types of vitamins. One is fat soluble, and these are mainly found in fatty foods such as animal products or dairy products. The body needs these vitamins every day, as a person does not. Body needs them every day, but a person does not need to eat these foods every day for them to function properly. Fat soluble vitamins are A, D, E, and K. The second is water soluble, and these vitamins are not stored in the body, so the body needs these more frequently. As the body doesn't store these vitamins, this doesn't mean they are not harmful compared to fat soluble, although this doesn't mean that large amounts of them are not harmful. If the body has more than needed, it gets rid of them by urinating. These vitamins are found in different types of foods such as dairy products, vegetables, and fruit. These can be destroyed by heating or being exposed to air, so this means some of these foods can lose the vitamins inside them. This is why many people tend to steam or grill their foods, as it keeps the vitamins inside them and is a healthier way to cook. Water-soluble vitamins are C and B. Minerals are very necessary for a healthy body. They are important because they turn the food you eat into energy, which is vital for normal bodily functions. They help to build strong bones and teeth and control bodily fluids inside and outside cells. These essential minerals include iron and calcium. Fibre is a complex carbohydrate which helps the process of digestion. They can be obtained from whole foods like grains, nuts, cereals, and fruit. There are two types of fibre. The first is soluble fibre, which can be found in things like oats, barley, and peas. This type of fibre can help control blood glucose and cholesterol. The second is insoluble fibre and can be acquired in food like pasta, bread, rice, fruit, or vegetables. This type of fibre is known to be a good preventer of bowel disorders. To stay healthy, it's important that we include both types of fibre in our diet. The human body should drink about 1.5 litres of water a day. This keeps the water balance in our bodies and helps us stay hydrated so we function properly. Water helps the function of cell production, elimination of waste, chemical and metabolic reactions, transport of nutrients, and body temperature regulation. Water is a carrier around the body, so it carries the nutrients we need, like vitamins, minerals, and glucose. Water takes part in the biochemical breakdown of what we need. It also removes waste products, including toxins that organ cells reject, and then removes them from the body through feces and urine. The digestive system has 3 stages. The first is digestion, second is absorption, and third is excretion. There are 2 types of digestion, and these are mechanical, which is where you chew your food and do the breaking down yourself so you can swallow it. The second is chemical, which is when the food is in the stomach and it is breaking down. Digestion breaks down the nutrients from the food that we eat, which our bodies then use for energy, growth, and repair. Food and drink are broken down into smaller molecules, and then the blood absorbs them and carries them through the body, going through the 3 processes: digestion, absorption, and excretion. The body takes protein, fats, and carbohydrates, minerals, vitamins, and water from our food and drink and breaks them down into the nutrients that our body needs. Absorption is when the foods and nutrients from are absorbed into cells and organs through diffusion. It absorbs all the 7 nutrients that the body needs. The nutrients from the food are passed into the bloodstream. Most of the absorption occurs in the small intestine. Excretion is very important because this gets rid of the horrible waste products that our body doesn't need. Excretion is getting rid of the bad stuff and turns it into a waste product so it can be released from the body and get rid of the indigestible food. The gallbladder is where the bile is stored and is released into the duodenum, which helps to break down and digest fats. The rectum is where the waste products head down and to the bottom of the body and waits for a signal from the brain whether to hold or release. If it can be released, the sphincters relax whilst the rectum contracts in getting rid of the contents. The mouth is where digestion starts, as this is where the food enters our body. Our teeth and jaw chew the food, breaking it down into smaller pieces so it can be taken down through the body. The anus is the last part of digestion, and it is surrounded by the sphincter muscles that allows control around this area. This helps to hold our feces in giving us control and allows us to relax so it can release when we choose. The small intestine breaks down food using enzymes from the pancreas and bile from the liver. Peristalsis also happens in this organ. Once all the nutrients have been absorbed, the leftover food liquid then moves on to the large intestine. Chyme passes from the stomach to the small intestine via the duodenum. The esophagus is located near the trachea and it receives the food from your mouth. It provides contraction so that the food can move down and into your stomach. The liver processes the nutrients which are broken down from the small intestine. The liver also releases bile into the small intestine, which helps to digest fat. The liver can also detoxify harmful chemicals that are in the body. The large intestine empties the bowels and processes the waste product from our food after all the nutrients have been absorbed and the food has been broken down. It first comes from the small intestine as a liquid form, but is then changed into a solid form like feces. The stomach holds your food and is started to be digested by being broken down using hydrochloric acid, and is then taken down to the small intestine. The food is churned into a liquid called chyme. The pancreas secretes the enzymes into the duodenum. The pancreas makes insulin, which is released directly into the bloodstream. I have chosen a weightlifter and an indoor rowing athlete as my two athletes to compare. My indoor rowing athlete uses both anaerobic and aerobic energy systems and also requires strength and power. This means that nutrition is key for a good performance during training and competitions. I've chosen 30% protein because it's slow release energy and is a building block of muscle. It is also low in fat, so your energy source is sustainable. Protein helps with protein synthesis, which is very important for recovery. Recovery is important for an athlete as they need to be fully restored and ready for the next day of hard training. I've chosen 30% fat as it is a backup source of energy once our carbohydrates have been used up. It is important that we still include some fat in their diet, such as nuts and oils. Fats helps the absorption of nutrients. I've chosen 40% of carbs as they provide the body with quick energy called glycogen. The body converts glycogen to energy. Eating more carbs will help aid the recovery of an athlete. For my weightlifter, I've chosen 45% carbs, 35% protein and 20% fat. It's important to have a lot of calories in your diet as a weightlifter as they need the constant energy and strength. I've chosen 45% carbohydrates because the athlete needs as much energy as they can. Lifts need to be quick and powerful, so complex carbohydrates are very good. Training with weights requires not only strength but a lot of energy too. They need constant energy so they can train to their best of their ability, meaning they can get their lifts and be successful during competition. I've chosen 20% fat as it's important to keep the muscles and cells protected and still able to work with the amount of strain they will constantly be putting on them. I've chosen 35% protein as this is very important for a weightlifter. Protein helps to build strong muscles and helps growth and repair. As a lifter, the muscles need to be strong so they can lift the heavy weights and use their strength effectively, performing as an effective athlete.